Okay, I'm in the middle of page 54. By focusing on creating more wealth, you will attract the solutions and the answers that will provide more income. But you've got to be focusing on wealth. How can I? What could I do? Wealth. I've decided to generate wealth. I've decided to bring in an extra $1,000 a month, a week, every 2 weeks. You keep that idea going, and when your mind comes back and says, now this is Cindy talking, when your mind comes back and says, how are you going to do that? You say, I'm not sure yet. I only know I am doing it. I know the way will come to me. So you tell yourself what you want to experience, because you will experience what you're continually telling yourself. That's how it becomes a conviction. The convictions produce. Okay. So by focusing on creating more wealth, you will attract the solutions and answers that will provide more income. Then what you've practiced, not worrying about how to pay those bills, will simply become a reality. So you could be saying, I know how to pay my bills. I know the money comes. I'm always taken care of. These are ideas coming from Cindy. So clearly we want to use the law of attraction in our favor, not our detriment. But first, we need to take a good hard look at our present results. I'm not saying you should feel bad about them, especially since we know that feeling bad about something will just attract more of the same. No, you should do the best you can do to take an objective look. Ask yourself, what kind of friends you currently have? What kind of coworkers? How do you feel about your level of income? How is your business going? As the answers to these questions flash through your mind, write them down. And make sure you write the first answer that pops into your head, not the sugar-coated one that rationalized and justifies the results that you don't really want. Then, as you look at your list, realize that these ideas are responsible for programming your results in life thus far. Your every result in life is magnetized to a specific thought and belief that you have. Another drink. Your initial thoughts are a reflection of your subconscious beliefs, and that's what attracted this current reality into your life. It's quite common for people who try this exercise to find that they dislike the thoughts and beliefs they uncover. But take a step back. Recognize that they are merely a reflection of what has been in your life, and that you have the ability to change them if you want to. This is why I spend so much time talking about how to change your mindset and move positive thoughts into your subconscious. They are what the law of attraction works from. Unfortunately, many people who read this information about the law of attraction still get the very same results in their life. No matter how many times I speak to audiences or share my thoughts with them through my books, audio products, or coaching programs, many people still exhibit the same results year after year, even decade after decade. It's a sad and terrible thing to witness, and it frustrates me greatly. I know they understand what I've told them. They know intellectually that this makes good logical sense. They've probably heard it repeatedly, not only from me, but from many others who understand its power. But their results indicate that they really never understood it to the point of incorporating it into their lives. Why? Well, often people stop at that first step, looking at their results. Taking responsibility for a life you don't like and acknowledging that you created it can be heartbreaking. Few people have the strength it takes to work through that old programming. It hurts to look at a disappointing result and accept blame for it, so they set it aside and avoid the issue. But what they don't consider is that they are still invoking the law of attraction. You can't turn it off. One way or another, it's always working. So if you realize that, your decision to override the thoughts about quitting or giving up really don't make much sense. And when you think about all the good and the beauty and the excitement and the ideal life you get to live, everybody says they'd do it all again because it's so beautiful on the other side. Okay. All right. You can't turn it off one way or the other. It's always working. And by pushing their disappointment aside, they're fueling the law of attraction in a negative and destructive way. You have to commit to being one of those willing to accept your situation as self-created, and you have to commit to use the law of attraction to help you in your pursuit of wealth. After you take stock of where you are and take responsibility for what has produced your results, you're ready to move forward. And here's the other thing, this is Cindy, to think about is that, guess what? Those people had the same ideas when you did. At first, they didn't believe they could change. There are people who have become multimillionaires who had much worse situations than any of us. But they decided to believe the system and to put it into play. And you can too. You have to commit to being one of those willing to accept your situation as self-created, and you have to commit to use the law of attraction to help you in your pursuit of wealth. Maybe you've already tried to choose the ideas and thoughts that would bring about a positive vibration, but you haven't made any progress yet. Be very aware of outside influences. Every person you spend time with, everything you see and hear on television, and even random overheard conversations, they all have their own vibration. If you associate with people who have a negative vibration, it's hard for you to constantly choose positive ideas. It can be done, it's just harder. So really evaluate. Who are you spending your time with? What are you listening to? What are you doing? Is it worth trading a life that you would love with enough wealth for yourself and those you love to be way beyond comfortable, to thrive and prosper? If you have a friend or family member who is constantly spouting a litany of negative thoughts, complaining about his or her job, relationships, lack of money, then it's going to hamper your ability to project a positive. How many times have you noticed that after being with this person, you feel physically drained? The fact is, you are. They've sucked your positive energy right out of you. You can correct this, but it means staying away from negative people like this. Of course, we can't always choose our business associates and never our families. So simply avoiding them isn't always practical. So the best way to protect yourself is to refuse to become emotionally involved in their negative energy. Refuse to commiserate. Don't get dragged down with them. That can lessen the impact of their negative thoughts and allows your positive ones to shine through. Especially, this is Cindy, especially being around people that are complaining all the time or blaming all the time. Get away from that as quickly as you can, because participating in that is exactly taking you in the opposite direction of where you want to go. So I'm going to stop it. We're at 9.5 minutes. I'll be back.